comes a moment in every person's life when the world becomes quiet enough for your own thoughts to finally speak. And sometimes the first thing those thoughts say is, "You're not enough." Not because you failed, not because you didn't give your best, but because somewhere along the way, you learned to measure yourself in ways no human being ever could live up to. It's a strange kind of weight, not visible to anyone, yet carried every single day. The weight of feeling like you must prove your worth again and again just to deserve a place in people's lives. You don't announce this feeling. You don't even name it, but you know it. In the way you overthink a simple message, in the way you replay conversations, in the way silence feels louder than it should. No one sees the internal calculations you do, the constant scanning of people's tone, their expressions, their pauses, their distance. You try to read between lines that might not even exist, because a part of you fears you're not doing enough to keep the connection alive. This fear didn't appear from thin air. It was shaped by real moments. Moments where your effort went unnoticed. Moments where your care was brushed off. Moments where someone made you believe your value was conditional, something you had to earn. As you grew older, that belief became subtle, almost elegant in how it hides itself. It doesn't shout, it whispers. It whispers at night when the day is finally over and you lie there replaying everything you could have done better. People see your reliability. They see your hard work. They see your calmness. What they don't see is how often you exhaust yourself just to maintain the version of you they've grown comfortable with. You've become the person who holds everything together, the one people lean on, the one who rarely asks for anything, the one who seems fine, even when your mind is overwhelmed. And here's the irony. The more capable you are, the fewer people check if you're struggling. So you carry things quietly. Responsibilities, expectations, unspoken worries, internal pressure, all tucked beneath a steady voice and a composed face. But even strong people have limits. Even calm people get tired. Even independent people wish someone would say, "You don't have to do everything alone." Self-pressure isn't created by weakness. It's created by history, the history of showing up for others, the history of performing well, the history of being the dependable one. Your mind learned that being enough requires constant effort. So it pushes you, it reminds you, it warns you, not to harm you, but to protect you in its own imperfect way. But there comes a point when protection becomes pressure, when motivation becomes heaviness, when doing your best never feels like quite enough. And maybe you've reached that point. Here's something rarely said, but deeply true. Your worth isn't built through exhaustion. Your value doesn't appear only when you achieve something. Your significance isn't dependent on flawless performance. You are allowed to be a work in progress. You are allowed to rest. You are allowed to not know everything yet. Pause for a moment. Feel that truth. Let it echo in your mind without rushing to contradict it. You deserve understanding not because you're perfect, but because you're human. You deserve kindness not because you've earned it, but because everyone does. And you deserve space to grow at your own pace without feeling like you're falling behind. You don't have to be extraordinary to be enough. You simply have to be real, present, trying, alive. And maybe, for the first time in a long while, that can be enough. There is something important about growing older that no one tells you. It's not just about getting stronger or wiser or more independent. It's about slowly understanding why you think the way you do. At some point in your life, you began to believe that being enough meant never disappointing anyone. Maybe you thought you had to earn your place in every room you walked into. Maybe you felt you had to impress people just to keep them close. These beliefs didn't come from nowhere. They came from real experiences. Moments where your feelings were minimized. Moments where you were expected to be strong even when you were tired. Moments where your needs were overlooked because you were capable. Capability is a gift, but it can also become a costume. People start to assume you never need help. They assume you're always fine. They assume you don't break down because they've never seen you do it. But there is a quiet truth you carry within you. Even capable people need space to breathe. You don't have to constantly hold it together to deserve peace. You don't have to be flawless to be loved. You don't have to hide your uncertainty to appear strong. Pause here. Seriously, just pause. Let this settle. You've spent so much time measuring your worth by what you can do, achieve, fix, or provide. But worth doesn't come from performance. It comes from presence. Your presence. The way you listen, the way you care, the way you show up, the way you try even when you're tired, that already carries meaning. And when you strip away the layers of pressure, expectation, and comparison, you'll find something underneath that has been quietly waiting for recognition. Your humanity. Humanity isn't perfect. It's inconsistent, beautifully flawed, always learning, always unfolding. You are not meant to have everything figured out at every moment. You are not meant to carry every responsibility without rest. You are not meant to meet every standard that was never designed for real life. You are allowed to release the version of yourself that survives on pressure. You are allowed to grow into a version of yourself that lives with balance. Here's a gentle reminder. People who truly care about you won't disappear because you have limits. They won't leave because you set boundaries. They won't think less of you for choosing your well-being. In fact, the right people will respect you more for honoring yourself. And you will start to feel something you may not have felt in a long time. Relief. Relief from the constant self-judgment. Relief from the internal pressure. Relief from the belief that your value is conditional. The truth is simple, and yet we spend years trying to rediscover it. You are allowed to be loved as you are, not as you think you should be. You are allowed to be a work in progress. You are allowed to have seasons of rest. You are allowed to explore who you're becoming without apologizing for who you're not. Let yourself breathe. Let yourself open. Let yourself exist without constantly proving anything. Life is not a performance. It is a journey, and you are learning beautifully. Maybe you don't see your progress yet, but it's there. In the way you reflect, in the way you care, in the way you keep going, even when things feel heavy. Progress is not loud. It rarely announces itself. It grows in moments just like this one, where you pause long enough to finally hear yourself. And here is where we leave you, not with pressure, not with demands, but with one final idea to carry forward. You are worthy of compassion, of patience, of gentleness, of understanding, including from yourself. You are not behind. You are not failing. You are not lacking. you are becoming. And becoming takes time, and that, in itself, is enough.